Welcome to my, we'll call it my first episode of Tech Tips for ice fishing. We're going to go over some of the simple things to do for beginners and intermediate. This is all basic stuff that you can really start with as far as getting your feet wet. Well, you don't want to do that ice fishing, but we'll get you started real simple. So a few of the things that I started with, and I'll go into more detail, but obviously you'll need basically three things to start with if you're just trying to stay minimalistic. I mean, you can do this for like 50 to 60 bucks. So you're going to need a good starter combo. So I've had this rod for years, and it started out as like a $20 combo at like a Farm and Fleet or something like that, and then I threw one of my ultralight open water reels on it, but I made it a permanent fixture for that. Just bought another open water reel. I put this little cheap, I think it was like $1 flat wire spring bobber on there. That's for detecting light bites when you're bluegill fishing. So I basically made this rod, but mind you, I already had this reel for open water. The rod and the reel that came on it, the setup itself was about 20 bucks. I think it was $19 or something like that. I think it was even on sale. And I actually have two of those. These are the two that I started with. But both of these are ultralight 500 reels that I use in the summer that I've just dedicated to winter use now because I got better reels for open water. So that's one thing to start with. So your combo is going to be one thing you start with. An ice chisel or spud bar is the second thing you're going to want to use. This one is a collapsible. It's got a pin you can pull out of it. It's got a very sharp edge on here. It's meant for checking the ice. So with the weight of this, it's, I don't know, I would say it's about 10, 15 pounds. With a good whack at the point, if you go through, get off the ice. Don't go any further. Usually what I trust to, because I'm a pretty big guy, about 220, is I would go on an average about 3 strikes, or what you can equivalent a good freeze over or good clear black ice is, for every strike you're getting about an inch and a half of clearance. So 3 strikes gives you anywhere between 3 and 5 inches, just depending on how hard you hit the ice. But that's definite number 2. So obviously that should actually be number 1. Make sure you have that first before you ever walk out on any water, and make sure you're traveling with somebody who's done it before. Make them walk first, because if they don't fall through, you're doing okay. But I would always carry a spud bar with me. I don't care how many times I go out and falling through the ice. It's not fun. You don't want to do it either. The third thing that you're going to need is something to put holes in the ice with, which is an auger. Now, mind you, you can get away with doing that through pretty thin ice, or if you want to be a workhorse, you can chop through as much ice as you want to chop through. It just takes a lot more work. But considering that was like $25, $30, I got this secondhand from somebody with good blades on it that ended up buying a power auger, and they didn't want to keep this anymore, for 25 bucks. So, mind you, still staying cheap. So 25, maybe 20. So you got 45. We'll just make it even. So you could be like 75 bucks. For under 100 bucks, you can have a hole in the ice. You can check your ice, and you can be fishing. Now, obviously, you need bait. So, or lures. You can stay really simple. You can actually go and just buy some hooks and run live bait, and that's all you need. Me, personally, what I started out with, because I've been ice fishing my whole life, but when I really got out on my own, I had my auger, my combo, my spud bar, and then what I got was a bait puck, which this keeps your bait in it, floats, it's insulated, keeps them alive all day. Safety spikes. So these, I'm going to have a safety video, but these are like a necessity no matter what. They might end up in a couple videos just because I stress that people really need to use these. Like I said, I've been through the ice, and I think I've only used safety spikes once because it took my stubborn butt a couple times before I actually bought a pair. But I don't know, 15, 20 bucks for your life. These ones, I don't know who makes these ones. They're all pretty similar, but if you want to get good ones, you'll get the ones. These have a retractable sheath off the spike, so it keeps it covered, and it's good and sharp, and you keep them around your neck when you're on the water. So say you're just walking from hole to hole or something, you find a weak spot, you fall through, which happens. Mind you, I'm not trying to scare you away from ice, I just want you to be careful. You can stab the ice with this and pull yourself out, because the hardest thing is ice is slippery. You find it really quickly that it's hard to pull yourself out, and there's very specific ways of doing that. I'm debating on doing an escape video just to show you how to get out of the ice without any of this stuff if you don't have it to get out. Like, I used my keys the very first time I ever actually went through and had to claw myself out, because the keys were the only thing I had to stab the ice. Bent my keys up, and thank God I didn't bend my car keys up, but these are a necessity. So ice picks, ice spikes, safety spikes, they go by a bunch of different names, but me personally, I always have these on me. I don't like the water that much, not in the winter. I love it in the summer. But another simple safety thing, this is rope that I will tell you, if you can see this over here, this is a deer sled. So it already comes with rope on it. It's not bad pulling your gear if you only have a little bit of gear. But if you did say you get like a pop-up ice shanty, or you had a bag or a box and like a bucket, a bunch of different gear to throw in your sled, hooking this up and giving yourself a nice long lead will give you a lot less strain on your body, because it'll spread out the weight real far, and it'll keep the weight away from you, so that when you're checking the ice, you can actually keep the rope around your shoulder and just keep going without having to go back and grab your gear to keep the weight spread out. This kind of turned into a safety video. Stay tuned for that one. That's going to be number 2. And I'm going to try and do a lot of these videos this winter, because I really want to get people, going, getting you guys started. If you guys have any open-ended tips or ideas that you could think that I might be missing, or you can think of something that you want to learn more about, just leave them in the comment section below, and I will do the best that I can for that, and we'll really work on getting you guys, a point A to point Z type thing, and we'll get you going good. So we got the rope. I'm just going to kind of run through all these little miscellaneous things real quick. Ice scoop, unless you like scooping it by your hand, you want an ice scoop. This one actually has a measuring device right on it, so when you scoop, you can actually put it right up on the bottom of the ice and check each inch there. But if you just have a standard ice scoop, no measuring device, always have a tape measure on the ice for me personally. Just go buy a junk one from a secondhand store, or a real cheap. This was just a really cheap one, like a dollar store one, but it still works. It still measures stuff, and you can measure the ice, and obviously you can measure your trophy fish. And it's nice having a tape measure next to your fish and actually knowing what you're catching and stuff like that. So tape measure, hemostat. You always want one of these on you. And the thing is, with a jacket and stuff like that with flaps on it, I just keep this clipped to my jacket. This is always within hand's reach, so that it's freezing out, the fish will freeze, your hands will freeze. Make everything go quicker. Have this right in reach, so that you can pull the hook out of the fish's mouth real quick. I'm going to say every bait shop in the country has one of these. So pick some of those up. You can buy cheap ones, you buy expensive ones. That's all personal preference. Another thing, what I did is I went to a dollar store, bought like 20 pairs of these one year. I think I'm down to a couple of them. I have to go get more, but cheap little fingernail clippers. So what I did is I took a little, what are they called? Quick ring or whatever, like a keychain ring. Put that on there, and then I put a little carabiner thing on there. So these little clips are a lifesaver. You can clip them on your clothes. If you have ice fishing clothes, they have those little D-rings on them all over the place. Hook them right on there. If you need to cut your line because a fish swallowed the hook, or if you need to cut your line and retie because you caught, big northern on your light pole, stuff like that, or just retying. Another real simple thing that I like to keep are these little, they're fly boxes for open water fly fishing, but as you can see, these ones are really well organized. They got these little soft patches for flies and stuff like that, but you could probably stick little tiny jigs in there. This is my JB Lures box. One thing a lot of people are going to say something about is something to check depth with. Also, I think they're called bomb weights. I haven't used one in years because a lot of times I'll have, these are my go-to lures. So these are little spoons. I think they're 1/13 ounce or something like that. But they're real easy for checking depth. You put them on your pole and you just tie one of those on, and when you come to a hole, you check it, pull it up, measure the line by hand. But as you can see, these are two different sizes. They both fit in my jacket pockets. This is a real big one, but it allows you to carry all your jigs, any extra little spoons, stuff like that with you. So with the extra space and all that stuff like that, you can carry anything you want with you. And obviously, you've seen them. I have spoons, I have jigs, more spoons and jigs. I'm a fishing guide and I fish professionally for you guys. So basically what I'm looking to do is always have extras. You don't need 500 of the same color like I do. So just starting out, get yourself a couple jigs that you think look good, or if you see somebody using them, online like me, if you see me using them and I say something about them, and maybe I give you an idea of how to use it properly, buy that jig, use it a little bit, and get to know it. Play with them. When you're first starting out, the big thing is learning, and that's why we all fish, is because there's a bunch of, there's a never-ending learning curve. I'm always learning. I'll never say I know it all about ice fishing or open water fishing, because it's impossible. But I'm gonna try to learn. So all of this is your basic stuff to start with. Oh, one thing. So this is a Goodwill backpack, but it's nice and heavy duty. Best thing I ever did was get away from carrying huge summer tackle bags out on the ice, which a lot of people, once they really get into it, carry those. So if you don't want to buy the sled to carry all your extra gear, which you end up needing it anyways to carry your auger and your, spud bar. So the sled is nice to have. The backpack, for organizational purposes, so like I showed you this little clip. You can put these clips, on your hemostats, on here, on your tape measure, and you can hang all of that right off your backpack. So now, those guys that want to go exploring, trying new bodies of water, and packing light, you can stick everything in your backpack and just a few things in your sled versus having everything piled up in your sled that might tip over, tip out, whatever. With it being on your backpack, or on your back, you can keep the heavy stuff in the sled and walk around with the backpack, and you can keep all of your gear right inside the backpack. That's something I learned a while back, and I was really happy. This basically replaced my 5-gallon bucket. Some of them will have these little straps on the sides that you can actually strap your ice rods into also. So you can really go like mobile, and you just carry your auger around with you and drill a hole and start fishing. But stay tuned for number 2. This is basically your overview of getting started. It's for those people that like open water fishing, have always wanted to try ice fishing, and you think you need thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I own thousands of dollars worth of stuff, but that's because I do this as a profession, and I have an extra amount of everything to make sure I'm supplied and ready. The second video I'm going to do will be for after you've gotten the, established. you're established with all this gear, and you know it's coming into the next season, and you're really actually excited to get out and do it, the next video I make, it's going to be for those guys, because you can dive deep in the second year, and I mean, if you're looking to spend a couple $100, it's real easy. It's just like open water fishing though, so it's no different than what you did in open water fishing. The season can be shorter, but it can be even more exciting because you can get out and explore more bodies of water than you normally would open water fishing. So I hope this helps. If you enjoy these videos like this, please give them a thumbs up. I really like the feedback. Any kind of information, like I said, that you think that I can help you with, as far as explaining how to do something, maybe explaining how I tie my jigs on, how to go to the next level, stuff like that, just leave them in the comment section below. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe. That way you can get notifications every time I upload new videos. And this winter, I'm gonna try and do a lot. We'll see how it pans out. It just depends on how busy I get in my guide season and all that stuff. Hopefully I'm busy and I can complete all these videos for you guys, because I really want to help some people get out. I enjoy ice fishing a substantial amount more than most people do. So I would love to share this with people and get a couple new people out on the ice. So till next time, stay tuned for that next video. This is part 1. There'll be part 2. And stay dry. Make sure you stay dry this season. And be safe. Take a buddy with you. Get your safety gear. I'll have a safety video out for you soon, so you can get a good list of things to buy for just safety gear. But till then, I'll see you guys next time, and enjoy the ice.